Okay, before we even start off this video, I just want to say something. This guy, this me right here, is just super chill. Like, yeah, today's nothing special. Whereas my other me is like, woo, new LP, party hard, yeah, party, dance, dance everyone, dance, yeah, woo! Welcome to Pokken Tournament.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Nia.
Hello there, Nia.
I'm one of the battle trainers here in Ferrum. I battle alongside my trusty partner, Weavile. Have you ever seen a Pokemon this cute? I doubt it. Oh, he's just sleeping over there. Don't mind him.
Okay, I
You
won't.
must be the interesting new trainer I heard about who's about to join us. How about I show you around and stuff?
Sure, let's go ahead and do that.
Right then, first things first. Welcome to the Ferrum Battle. Here in Ferrum, you'll need to work as one with your partner Pokemon and face off in some intense one-on-one battles. After you finish your trainer registration, you'll be given something called a Battle AR.
What does the AR stand for?
It has a synergy stone built into it that allows you to synergize with your Pokemon in battle.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
But hey, we'll get into the details later.
Alright.
You've got a whole bunch of new experiences awaiting you here. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what sort of trainer you turn out to be.
As do I.
I'll give you whatever assistance I can, so just try to have some fun out there.
Will do.
Then, let's get you registered.
Okay, so switching over from Pro Controller to Gamepad. Let's see, I'm just gonna enter in my username. Huh, there's even room for 4 more characters. Okay, and I am a male. That looks about right. I like this friendly little grin. I usually like to give my character blue eyes. Right. Huh. Some of the names don't really match up with the actual color. And I'll be selecting Blaziken as my partner Pokemon. This is something that can be changed later on at your own discretion, so I'm just gonna go with Blaziken first, so that won't matter in the long run.
This is the Farum region, where we are now. It's a huge island surrounded by nothing but the ocean itself. Farum battles are super popular here, if you hadn't already guessed. The types of battles differ a bit from city to city, so I'll just give you the short and sweet version. To start off, right now we're here in Old Farum Town. It's also known as My Town, and here you can check your battle data and change your settings, stuff like that. Don't worry, whenever we head to a new area, I'll give you the rundown. I've got your back. Next up is right here, Farum Stadium. This is where the Farum League is held. This is a single-player mode where you battle your way to victory in the official league. Next up is Tellertown, I suppose. Here you can join in casual matches against CPU opponents. When you want to battle against your friends, you should head over to Selen Island. There, you can battle using the gamepad and one additional controller. And then there's Neo City, where you can battle against online players from around the globe. Oh, right, I forgot one other important place. In Techna City, you can learn all sorts of stuff about battles and practice a bit too. I'll give you a nice little walkthrough in the tutorial. Alrighty then, guess I went on a bit longer than planned, but that should be just about everything. Feel free to start off wherever you want, but I think you might be best off heading to Techna City to play through the tutorial and learn the basics of Farum battles.
Okay, so we call this energy Gaia. It's something you'll only find here in the Farum region. Apparently there's still a lot we don't understand about it. So yeah, we've got an entire map here. I'm gonna be going into My Town first real quick.
You can check your play data and change a number of settings here. You can equip items you've obtained or change your title. And you can change your battle Pokemon and support set too. Whenever you get something new, you should drop in here. And in options, you can change the sound and controller settings.
Okay.
Be sure to give it all a try.
Thank you for that. What was her name again? I already forgot what her name was. Oh man, that's... Oops, backed out too far. Let's see. Options. I want to change some things in the controller. I'm gonna turn off the rumble. Gonna leave the attacks, moves, and jump as is. Although I'm going to be... Oops. Let's see. I'm gonna have that be the grab attack. Nope. I'm gonna have that be block. And this, I think I'm gonna have as... Oh. Synergy Burst. Okay, so that's gonna be my control settings for this LP. It's just something that I wanted to have. I think I've got to turn down that a little bit. And leave everything else the same. Now then, for advisor settings, cheer skill, what does that do? Okay, that's something that I'll worry about later. I mostly just wanted to change my controller settings so I can be more comfortable with the controls. But now, we're going to be going into practice to learn how this game controls, since I'm a bit rusty at this.
Here, you can learn about Ferrum battles and practice as much as you see fit. In the tutorial, I'll teach you all about battling from the basics.
Several months ago, I had actually started prepping up for this LP by training my other Pokemon, all of my Pokemon, to a certain level. Since I heard that the main story does get a bit difficult towards the end, and I need as many skill points as I could get, so I trained up my entire roster, but it's been so long since I last played that I don't even remember how to play this game anymore. So I'm going through the tutorial just to freshen up on the controls.
In free training, you can use a number of settings to practice however you see fit. I'd recommend starting off with my tutorial.
And I do remember there being quite a few tutorials, so don't expect to hear me talking for a good amount of this episode. So this episode is mostly going to be tutorials, if not entirely tutorials.
Oh, right. You can use the pause menu during battle to check your Pokemon's move list. It's pretty useful, so make sure to use it.
Every Pokemon has a very, very deep and in-depth move list. Okay, let's go to the tutorial. The basics of battle will be our first topic.
Which Pokemon are you battling with?
I'm going to be going with Blaziken, since I think it's like one of the more rounded characters. It's essentially the Ryu of this game, I think. For comparison's sake, I suppose. Bit of an odd loading sound.
In this course, I'll teach you all about the basics of the game. Now then, what shall we start with? Alrighty, I guess we better start off learning how to move. Go ahead and try moving your Pokemon. You can use the plus control pad to move around the field. You can also jump with the B button. If you press in the same direction twice on the plus control pad, you can step forward and back or side to side. Okay, let's move on. Next up, we'll learn how to attack. Press this button to use long-distance attacks. Long-distance attacks are called ranged attacks. Try to land a few ranged attacks. Nicely done! Next, press this button over and over again. You'll launch an attack that'll chase down your opponent. Nice! Keep it up!
What are phases?
Alrighty then, now here's the important part. All battles consist of two states, field phase and duel phase. At the start of the battle, where we are right now, is field phase. And this is duel phase. You can tell which phase you're in by checking here. Now then, how do you go about changing phases? Well, you see, if you land a certain type of attack, you'll shift phases. Let's check out this demonstration. Alrighty, now try to shift to dual phase. Try to hit your opponent with this attack.
Okay, up and weak attack. So it's a projectile attack.
Okay, now you've changed the phase.
Moving dual
In
phase.
dual phase, you can dish out some serious damage, but close quarter combat is risky too. Here's where the real battle goes down. But you'll need to be careful. The way you move around differs a bit from field phase. Let's practice moving around in dual phase. By pressing forward twice on the plus control pad, you can perform a forward dash step.
Yep,
By
I'm
pressing
dashing.
back twice on the plus control pad, you can perform a backward dash step.
Cartwheel!
You
Cartwheel!
jump using the B button. In dual
Cartwheel.
phase, the action is highly varied.
I'm just having fun cartwheeling. Yep. So yeah, this mode is basically like
All right, that should be
2D
good.
fighters, essentially.
Land a certain attack on your opponent, and you'll shift from dual phase back to field phase. You can also just land a bunch of hits and send them flying back into field phase like this. Someone with wits like yours has probably already figured this out, but battles will involve shifting back and forth between field phase and dual phase. Plus, when you cause a phase shift, you'll get a nice little bonus. And by that, I mean you'll fill up your synergy gauge.
It's essentially your super meter.
We'll talk more about how to use the synergy gauge later on. Ah, right. I forgot to tell you. You can block by pressing the R button. By blocking, you can all but completely defend against your opponent's attack. Alrighty, let's try to block an attack. Just hold down the R button and you'll be fine.
Or in my case, ZL. Oh. Pff. There we go.
Whenever you're in a pinch, just press the R button. Don't forget.
Unless you customized it to be something different, like I did.
Alright, keep an eye right here on the screen.
Okay. Nice, I've got full meter now.
This is your synergy gauge. Your synergy gauge will fill up as you land or take hits. Once your synergy gauge is full, try pressing the L and R buttons together.
Mega Evolution!
Your Pokemon used its Synergy Burst. Your Pokemon will be superpowered while it's in Synergy Burst. Wreak havoc with Synergy Burst. You can use a burst attack once during every Synergy Burst. Try using a burst attack.
Okay. Go! Mega Blaziken! Sky Uppercut! Or Blaze Kick!
Land a hit to deal some huge damage. You definitely don't want to miss your chance.
I think I got the buttons mixed up.
Finish.
I mixed up the buttons on the controls. I'll fix that later. So yeah, that's how the basics of battling. So let's actually practice with an actual battle.
Choose your Pokemon. In this course, I'll tell you all you need to know about battles and teach you some techniques you can put to use right away. Press this to perform a long-distance attack aimed forward. It's great because you can use these attacks to shift into dual phase, even from a distance. This is what you'll want to strive for in field phase. Try to land a few forward-ranged attacks. Nicely done!
A few. Only does one. Jump attacks.
Press the X button while jumping in field phase and land a hit, and you'll cause a phase shift.
Okay.
You'll want to get the timing right just as you jump to dodge an oncoming attack.
Ah, okay.
Try to land a jump attack.
Okay. B and then X. Oh. Oh. Not doing too well there. There we go.
Now you're getting it. Press the
Poke
Y button.
combos.
Land consec hits to get a combo. This is what
Okay.
we call a Poke combo. Land a Poke combo.
So it goes for a 5-hit combo. Okay.
While you're still getting the hang of battles, make sure to shoot for lots of Poke combos.
2, 3, 4, 5.
A counterattack absorbs an incoming attack and quickly dishes out a counterblow. Time it just right, and you'll be able to strike back at your opponent.
About counterattacks.
You can use counterattacks in both field phase and dual phase. Try to counter your opponent's attack.
What?
Perfect!
Okay, go on.
Latch on
Oops.
to your opponent and land blow after blow. That's what
There
grab
we
attacks
go.
are all about. By using grab attacks, you can break through your
Grab
opponent's block.
attacks.
On top of that, grab attacks are always super effective against counterattacks. That being said, they're not very effective against normal attacks. Use a grab attack on your opponent. Okay! Counterattacks beat normal attacks. Grab attacks beat counterattacks. And normal attacks beat grab attacks. Basically, this attack triangle is like a fancy game of rock, paper, scissors. Trainers who master this attack triangle will take control of the battle. Probably. This thing over here is called the support gauge. Your support gauge will fill up as time passes. And once your support gauge is full, press the L button and try calling in a support Pokémon. It'll come in and use one of its Pokémon moves to help you out. Nicely done! During the planning time before each round, you can switch out the support Pokémon you want to use. You can choose which support Pokémon you want to use from your active support set. You can select a support Pokémon that suits your battle strategy. Or maybe even select a support Pokémon that'll help you out against a particular opponent. Support Pokémon come in 3 different types: Attack, Disrupt, and Enhance. Attack-type support Pokémon come in handy when you want to deal out damage and push your opponent back. Disrupt-type support Pokémon typically swoop in to block your opponent's movements. Sometimes they can even counter your opponent's attacks. Enhance-type support Pokémon will power up your Pokémon or heal some of your HP, things like that. Pick a support Pokémon that suits your playstyle, and be sure to use it when the time's right. Sometimes, when you use support Pokémon, your battle Pokémon will receive a status. These statuses include positive statuses and negative statuses. First things first, positive statuses. While you're under the effect of a positive status, you'll get some sort of advantage. For instance, Eevee will give you a positive status that grants you a temporary increase to your attack. The effect depends on the support Pokémon, but things will be in your favor while you have a positive status. Next up, we have negative statuses. Get hit with a negative status, and you'll temporarily be at a disadvantage. Take Emolga, for example. He'll hit you with an attack that temporarily reduces your speed. Use these statuses to your advantage to get the lead in battle. Between rounds, I'll drop in to cheer you on. Depending on whether you win or lose a round, your support gauge or your synergy gauge may get a boost. There are several types of cheering you might receive. There are cheer skills that are in effect from the first round, as well as those with special effects. Be sure to test out any new cheer skills you get. Sometimes, during field phase, you'll find power scattered around. You can pick up this power to fill up your synergy gauge. power on the field will disappear if you don't pick it up after a certain amount of time. Go ahead and pick up the power that appears on the field.
Oh. There we go. Oh, come on. It just spawned in on him.
The tide of the battle
Wow.
can really change
This is kinda
depending on
awkward
where the
to-
power appears on the field.
Moving around with the joystick. Left stick, whatever.
Now, let me tell you a bit about each battle Pokemon's recommended actions. Why don't you try this out?
Up and A's Blaze Kick.
Nicely done.
Nice.
Next, give this a shot.
Down an A for Brave Bird. A rush attack that lets you get the first move even if blocked. Powered up version launches even faster.
Okay,
Don't know how to charge that up
all
yet.
right, and now this.
What? Midair A for high jump kick. A major damage dealing airborne drop attack. Powered up is unstoppable and penetrates counterattacks. Oops. There we go.
Okay,
It's got a bit of short range to it. As you can see from me constantly smacking my face into the floor. And I think for the final tutorial of this video, at least I hope it's the final one. So now let's go back to applied battle techniques. Of course it teaches various techniques.
which Pokemon
Okay,
are you
Blaziken,
battling
let's
with?
wrap this up. And by wrap this up, I think spend another 5 or 6 minutes in tutorial as Nia talks on endlessly, because I'm thinking I might just turn her off when I start the story.
In this course, I'll teach you a few techniques that should help you out in battle.
Low stance.
During duel phase, press down on the plus control pad to enter into a low stance. While in low stance, press the Y button to use a quick attack. Press the X button while in low stance to use an attack to knock down your opponent. Try to land an attack from low stance. It doesn't matter what kind.
Alright. Said it didn't matter what kind. Okay. There we go. Good to know that they can also combo into each other.
By pressing up on the plus control pad, your Pokemon will take a high stance. By pressing the Y button in a high stance, you can perform an intercepting attack on an airborne opponent. In a high stance, you can press the X button to use an attack that will parry low-to-the-ground attacks. Try to use an attack from a high stance.
Okay, and the last one. Nice!
Now you're getting it!
Fire Spin! Charge counterattacks.
You can hold down the button to charge up your counterattack. It'll take some time to charge, but you'll deal more damage, and you'll also get a combo for managing to land a hit.
Okay.
By charging up your counterattack, you can increase the amount of time you can ward off your opponent's attacks.
Wow. That...
Try to charge up
Okay.
a counterattack.
Alright. Tuck to the hand!
You're at the plus pad and the R button to cancel and move into a step. simply called a cancel. You can use counterattacks to deflect your opponent's attacks and then cancel. Try to cancel a counterattack.
Okay, so I have to charge up, forward, and dodge, and block. There we go. That's really awkward. I don't think I'm gonna be using that.
Piercing attacks are special moves that cannot be blocked by counterattacks. For example, counterattacks with a fully charged hold become piercing attacks.
Nice, it breaks his shield, I guess.
Your best bet with counterattacks is to take the initiative and get the first move in. In field phase, you can also hold the last hit of a homing attack to make it a piercing attack.
Okay, that seems interesting. And it doesn't even give me the chance to try it out.
Your Pokemon won't take any hits while knocked down. And it'll get back up on its own, too.
Okay.
But this will give your opponent the chance to move in for an attack, so you'll need to be careful.
Oh.
Depending on the attack, you may take some damage regardless of whether you had your block up or not.
Yeah, that did a little bit of chip damage.
This is called block damage.
Or block damage.
But you'll never be KO'd by block damage.
That's good to know. Guard break.
If you keep blocking against an attack, you'll notice that the block will start to turn red.
Oh, it fizzles as well.
If you don't release it, you'll eventually get hit with a guard break. When you're hit with a guard break, you will be left momentarily defenseless. How many attacks you can endure before getting hit with a guard break depends on the Pokemon. Blocking is important, there's no doubt about it, but try not to get hit with a guard break.
Perks of Synergy Burst.
While in Synergy Burst, you won't be stunned from taking a few small hits.
Nice.
So you can move in for the attack without worrying about your opponent's ranged attacks one bit.
Awesome. Mega Evolution! But you do take damage, apparently.
Try to hit an opponent using a ranged attack with a homing attack.
Okay. Oh, whoops.
Keep it up. When your opponent uses their Synergy Burst, you'll want to try to use the X button for strong attacks to stun them, or grab attack to try to stop them from getting in any attacks.
Oops. Take this and this! Oh, it's doing a demo. I thought I was actually doing that.
You can link up one attack with the next. This is what we call a combo. Let's try to land a simple combo.
Alright. X, A, and... Alright.
That was perfect!
Alright.
You don't have to master high-level combos right away, but it might be fun to try things out once you get the hang of battling. I'm sure you've already noticed that battle Pokemon all have different amounts of HP, right?
No.
On top of that, how quickly the Synergy gauge fills up and how long a Synergy Burst lasts also differ from one Pokemon to the next.
Hard to tell that they have different amounts of HP when both Pokemon on the field have 600 HP.
Crazy, right? There are all sorts of different battle stages, and the battle arenas themselves vary slightly in shape and size.
Is there a point to them having different shapes and sizes? And it's not like there's stage hazards.
Battle Pokemon all have their strengths and weaknesses, and you'll have to be ready to switch up your fighting style from time to time. As you battle, your Pokemon will increase its skill level.
You'll get skill points when you level up. Use these to power up whichever skills you want.
As you increase your skill level, you can apply those skill points to whichever skills you'd like. As your skills level up, you'll get all sorts of useful advantages in battle. Remember, you can switch out your skill points from My Town whenever you want.
Tutorial finish.
Pokken special. What? I don't think I'm gonna be doing those right now. Let's see. Let's just go for a random free training real quick. And
Which Pokemon are you battling
yeah, let's
with?
have a mirror match between two Blazikens.
Time to pick a support set.
I'm gonna go with Snivy and Lapras as my support, and random for the other. And random stage, since I don't really care what stage we go to. Now then, you might think, wait, both fighters look the exact same. There's no alternate costume visible here. How am I gonna tell them apart? Simple. The other one is automatically given a costume, although this one is just blue for some reason. There we go. Okay, good. Everything is as I'd like. So I think with this, I'll be calling this the end of the episode, and next time I'm actually going to be switching over to my main profile, where I've actually already trained up everyone. And from there we'll start up the story.